We've been going a million miles a minute. We're going to take a second to pause and ask Matt how he's doing, going back to school as an administrator. And hopefully this gives you some insight as well into what life is going to be like when you go back to school for that next degree.
The Christian Principles Podcast is brought to you in partnership with the Herzog Foundation. But bear in mind, the views and opinions expressed here are those of the hosts and not necessarily of the Herzog Foundation. We want to thank you for listening. We're honored that you spend this time with us each week. Our heart is to bring you practical conversations and resources. Our heart is to bring you practical conversations and resources that really serve you as a Christian school leader. One of the best ways you can help us spread the word is by leaving us a review and sharing the podcast with other Christian school principals you're connected with. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Join the conversation and share any posts that resonate with you. Every share makes a difference in helping more leaders find encouragement and practical tools. And remember, the podcast is just one way we help. We also love serving schools through speaking and workshops. Our keynotes and sessions are designed to give you actionable strategies you can take back to your team and implement right away. If you'd like more details, just send us an email at info@christianprinciplespodcast.com. We'd love to connect. Welcome to the Christian Principles Podcast. I'm Matt George.
And I'm Mark Zockoll. We had to fight through the crispiness of a microphone that did not like being moved. When you move sound equipment, I don't know how Pastor Binkley does. Our youth pastor moves sound equipment all the time. But when you move sound equipment, it lets you know. It has a life of its own, apparently.
I have a home, and that's where I need to stay.
You took me out of my home. Don't you ever do that again. Well, Matt, you've also been taken out of your norm recently. Not that you really have, not that your norm is norm for long, no matter what, because you are a Christian school administrator. But you've been taken out of your norm because you've gone back to school.
Yeah, well, going back to school, I mean, really, it's just this desk that I'm sitting at here doing this wonderful podcast has been, the territory has been intruded by textbooks and discussion forums and all
research
kinds of
articles,
fun stuff. Yeah,
that's the best, though. It really is. That really is the best. If I do say so myself, and I will say so myself, I just love it. Love everything about it. Want to be in it. Miss it. Miss being on that side of the desk.
You can do it for me. That's fine. I'll put that offer right out here on the air, on the airwaves.
Go ahead and do it. No, Matt, let's start with, what class are you in right now? What is the title of the class?
Well, I am currently taking, I don't even remember. Yes, I do. It is Supervision.
So much money.
Yeah, so much money. Supervision, Faculty Development, and Instructional Leadership.
Supervision, Faculty Development, and Instructional Leadership. If you were going to, not present the actual statement of the class as what it would declare itself to be, do you have a succinct version of what you would say the class is attempting to make you learn?
I would say supervision.
Okay.
Faculty development.
I knew it. I knew it was coming. It's too easy.
Instructional leadership.
Oh man. So okay, we'll start with the easy one. When you say supervision, teaching someone to supervise, is it going back to leadership theory, management theory? Are you being taught the most appropriate ways? Have you talked about servant leadership yet? What level of supervision are we talking about? Is it education specific, or is it general management?
No, it is. It's definitely, I would say, challenging the status quo, in the sense that this is what the misconception, but probably the common conception of supervision or faculty development, so on and so forth, are. And then, but there's more than one way to skin a cat. So let's explore all those other possibilities.
Okay.
So that's kind of what it's been. Yep.
So is it out of a textbook? Or are you working through notes and articles?
Multiple books,
Okay.
multiple articles, videos. It's a hodgepodge of a bunch. But, the thing I love about this, because you know very well I am not an academic.
Oh, well.
I mean, I do enjoy learning. I feel like I will ever
Mhm.
be learning.
Sure.
But um when something is stated technically to me, it it hits a brick wall. Let's just say that. It hits a brick wall. No, I love theory. I love thinking through other uh things I hadn't thought before, but where the meat and potatoes is for me in this class and even in my previous master's program uh, was just in discussion with the others in the class, what they're seeing, what they're getting out of it, or that point is hitting a brick wall on many fronts, and we're relating with each other. Like, oh
Okay.
yeah, you thought that was garbage too? Yeah, good. All right, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not an idiot. I'm not all by
So
myself.
so the next part after supervision would be faculty development. I don't necessarily see those 2 things going together unless the class is making it seem as though you are responsible for both of those things. Well, obviously supervision, but you're also responsible to provide for professional development. Now, does that mean ongoing CEU learning, or is that on the job communicating expectations, communicating organizational expectations to them so that they are developing in their organization specific roles?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Brick wall.
Brick wall. Yeah. No, I mean, here's the thing. Like with trying to think how to succinctly put this all together. Um, the one of our textbooks that I do appreciate is this is from the perspective of a well-seasoned administrator who is writing a book for potential future administrators. So
Okay.
it's
Okay.
not even I'm writing this for you as
Mhm.
the current leader and this is what you're doing getting right, this is what you're doing wrong. It's just think about these things as you prepare.
Gotcha.
And so I do appreciate that one perspective while the others are definitely, I'm going to take this road, this other book takes that road, and then the other ones are just giving you the full gamut of everything.
Okay. Okay. And what was the 3rd section? We got supervision, professional development, and then
Faculty development and instructional leadership, which yeah,
instructional
that's
leadership.
the part we're working towards. Now, again, the way the class is broken down, we focus on supervision first, and then we move to faculty development, and then we're moving to instructional leadership. But really,
Okay.
I mean, it's been bleeding into all like, all three have been a big part of it. You're supervising with faculty development in mind, and all of this, of course, is for uh, the the improvement of student learning. So you're going to be pushing for instructional growth.
So the instructional growth, the instructional leadership, that's education specific. That would be
Yeah.
this professional. That defining that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and even very I mean, it's not limited to Christian education, but
Mhm.
there is a very strong emphasis, I will say, in what I've been learning about with Christian education,
Okay. Well, hopefully
specifically
so, right? From the
Christian institution.
from the Christian Institute. Okay. Now, we've talked about what you're learning right now. Generally speaking, do you find this to be serving the the demand it was placed in your life for? It was placed in your life
Oh,
because, according to the accreditation, you needed to gain this further degree to offer paper record that you should be doing what you're doing. Do you think this is serving that purpose? Do you find that specific value in this purpose with this class?
Mark, I love that question, and I'm going to
Oh,
explain why I love that question.
well, makes me feel
Because
good.
number one, yes, in that there's clear value in this one class that I'm taking
Hmm.
so far.
Sure.
I mean, my administrators, my principals are already sick of this class, I'm sure. He's like, well, what I'm learning this week is actually pertaining right to what we're dealing with
Well,
right
look
now.
at me! Look at
But
me! Look at me!
yeah, so absolutely. Um, however, 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 I would say, and I guess, okay, the responsibility placed on me as the administrative head of our school's institution, there is a great responsibility to be able to show some professional leadership, of course,
Okay.
in that I'm competent in doing what I'm doing, or at
Yes.
least add some kind of stamp of,
Exactly.
he knows his
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah. So
Um,
there's value in it in the
there's
paper
there's
that you
value in
receive,
that.
there's value there. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know this is not the preferred way of going about things, maybe, but there's still an awful lot, as I was saying, with when I'm talking with fellow classmates who are fellow administrators as well. Um, one of the questions that the professor asks us to answer every week is, "What's something new that you learned this week?" And what are a couple things that are new or challenged your thinking, or what are some things that you don't know and want to know? And I will say that the what is something new has been a struggle
I see.
to answer, not because not because I'm not getting anything out of the reading, or not because I'm not getting
Mhm.
anything out of, but it's like, this has been explored before.
Sure.
As in 8 years of administration,
Yes.
I've covered this stuff, or I've made those
Exactly.
failures already.
Mhm.
So it's like a little bit, maybe, I'm on the, some of this is, I wish I would have known that way back when. Right now,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, but not to
Well,
discredit it, because again, there's always something new that you're going to uncover. But I just
always.
feel like it's a bit more challenging. It may not, it, if I had taken this class 8 years ago,
Mhm.
there may have been a few more light bulbs,
And
possibly.
that's exactly where I was going, was we have
Yeah,
this, we know you're gonna take it because it's required of you, because you want to be in fine standing with the accrediting agency, so on and so forth. So there's value in it, but do you feel like you could be teaching the course? Do you feel as though you have things to contribute that perhaps not even the rest of those students have to contribute because they're not in the thick of it yet? I know you mentioned we deal with a peer that we've actually interviewed on this podcast before who is in it with you right now. So that's
yeah,
really interesting and
yeah,
awesome. But do you have these thoughts of I'm in that right now? Now, it's often said, so thank you for answering that before we get there. But it's
yeah,
often said that college is wasted on the young.
yeah.
And
I have a thing on my desk that a fellow principal gave me. That youth is wasted on the young. An old guy with hair coming out of his ears and everything. Youth is wasted on the young.
well, I remember feeling this exact same way. Like, oh, if I had been going through school with these experiences, how much more value? So the
Yeah,
same for you, and living through it now. You look back on those who have more time than you have and are going through it. That's really what I was going after. You're looking at
yeah,
the ones around you who aren't in the role you're in, who arguably they don't have any of the time concerns that you have with family, including children and a wife, including your ministries at the church, including your obvious role at the school, which is going to be hyper demanding. Do you find yourself wishing you could give this more time than you're giving it?
oh, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh, I'm
Mhm.
that's the thing. That the biggest struggle with this course is I'm scraping through. I am I am finding time to get the reading done.
Mhm.
And as far as like the project coming up, like, I know I need to get a head start on it, but all I can get a head start is right here.
Yeah.
I can't get anything physically down just
Mm.
because there is no time. I was in school yesterday for 14 hours.
Yep. Yep.
14 hours from the
14.
start to the time I was leaving. Now, granted, it was because Wednesday night, we had a thing at church, so I
Sure.
didn't leave. But I didn't even also have a time to myself in those 14
Mhm.
hours.
I
So
hear you.
that's
Did you get your
that's the
steps in?
kind of struggle.
Did
And
you get
I'm
your
not
steps
getting
in?
my steps in either.
Son of a gun.
Like, even that is getting my health is being
Mm.
sacrificed for this course. No, I'm
Well,
just kidding.
dadgum.
But
Dadgum.
it's also my phone. My watch is about to die too. I forgot to charge it today.
You're
But
definitely going to take the time tonight to take a few steps. But listen,
This episode is brought to you by our partners at the Herzog Foundation, whose mission aligns beautifully with ours to advance and support Christ-centered education. The Herzog Foundation exists to catalyze excellence in Christian schools, helping more children experience academic rigor, biblical truth, and strong moral character, all in a safe and nurturing environment. Whether through teacher training, principal development, or strategic media efforts, the Herzog Foundation is committed to helping you, the Christian school leader, fulfill your calling with excellence. Their vision is bold but clear, a national renaissance in Christian education that impacts culture for generations. At the Christian Principles Podcast, we're proud to stand with Herzog Foundation in that mission. Learn more at herzogfoundation.com. Together, we're building schools and futures on the rock of Christ. And as always, tell them that the fellas here at the Christian Principles Podcast sent you their way.
I want you to tell us about how you are coping with not being
that's the word.
with not being the A+ student. And I tell my students this, at least I might tell them this in the first email I send out to them. At the very least, it's when individually they come to me and they're saying, listen, I'm not going to get this done, or I didn't email you about that assignment. Don't think I'm a loser. Don't think I'm not interested in what you have to say, or what, we're learning in this course. Please don't take that. And I make sure to say to them very quickly, I do not question the priorities students, undergraduate or graduate. It's easy. It sounds like I'm taking the easy road, but it's true. I do not question the priorities that students place on these assignments, because never forget, longtime educator told me that in his senior class there was a student who had looked at all the points available, because what was available to them at that point in this well-established school was you could literally see all the points you would look at your entire senior year. And the student did his absolute best to get the exact grade he needed to pass.
Oh yeah.
Like would not answer certain questions of tests so that he would get a certain grade, so that he would have, and it was a game. He was obviously smart enough to get far higher than he did, but it was a game to him because it's a points-based system. Well, so the same for you. And so the same, and we think of this as educators. I try to I do not question the priorities my students set, especially not my graduate students, when it comes to them missing an assignment or them not doing something, or shoot, unless the syllabus says so, not turning in the last assignment because they've realized that they could pass the class without doing whatever the last assignment. Now, again, a lot of times the syllabus will call for that to be completed or you won't pass, depending on what the class is. But, missing almost an entire portion of the grade book because they realize it's only 10%. So why am I going to participate in these readings if it's only 10% and I do 90? I'm still going to get the low A or B, whatever it happens to be for the university. Do you find yourself playing that game at all with the understanding that before God, I'm doing my best, but my best tonight is I need to sleep for the job so I can do this tomorrow. I'm not going to get that third reply in. It's just not going to happen. And it'll be okay. Like, where are you in that headspace?
Well, first of all, I just ain't that smart to sit down and actually calculate. Well, no, I take it back. I am that smart. I just don't care to sit down and calculate what I need to pass versus what I need to not fail. But I will say this, because going back to school after being in education now for over 10 years, there is that added pressure of, if my students ask me how I'm doing and I'm behind and I'm not turning things in, I'm like, yeah, how about it? So there is that self just motivated responsibility of, I've got to be on my A game, because if they ask me about it, I'm not going to gloat or anything, but I want to be able to say, hey, I got a deadline. I met it and I crushed it, knocked it out of the park.
Well, good for you.
That's what I desire.
Good for you.
That's what I desire. But I was doing pretty good. I will say I made it 3 weeks.
That sounds terrible. 3 out of the 8, though. 3 out of the 8, not bad. By the 4th week, I mean, I got slammed with so many other things. And so I did get to the point where I had to email the professor and say, look, I know this is due. It ain't coming in. I'm going to try my best to get it done the next day. Didn't get it done the next day. Didn't get done the day after, but I got it done. But
good.
But yeah, but
and if I may, how was that received? What was the commentary back to you? Was like, too bad the syllabus says what it says, or was it like,
honestly,
first time I give grace the first time?
I don't think I even really paid attention to what the response was. Because I didn't really care whatever he had to say. I mean, on the grade book, it was just late.
Yeah, you were going to do what you're going to do.
And again, like you were saying, I know it was not a massive percentage of the grade, so it was like, it is what it is. And even at the beginning of the course, I mean, that was communicated. Look, I know you guys have ministries and lives, and that's important. His ask was, of course, just give me as big of a heads up as you possibly can. Try not to wait till the last minute, which, you always convince yourself, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to get it done. And then you're looking at the clock and you're like, nope, not getting done. So little email, here you go. Right, but I will say, like, when the first time I knew I missed that deadline, there was that moment of, oh man, I am gonna just, I'm such a failure, and I'm letting everybody down, and I'm supposed to be doing better. That I'm supposed to be on top of this, for a brief second.
Yeah, and
then you do think about all the other things that I'm working on, and all the other things I've got to accomplish, and which I'll even say it, like one of them taking my kids out to their baseball practice, like you know what, that
cost you.
I brought the books along with me, but was I looking at them performing in the field more than I was reading my books? Absolutely, I was.
Absolutely.
This only happened so many times. So there is that prioritizing that you have to do, and you know what? By the time I actually sat down to finish the assignment that was late, I was in a much better headspace when I was actually sitting down to do it than I would have done just to get it in. And so that's even another thing. And I do try to encourage my students the same way. And I would rather it be late if you can do better than just rush to get something done. I would absolutely rather have that. So I just kind of fell back on that, and I'm going to try to not be late ever again.
Playing that game is very interesting. Absolutely. Trying to figure out the best use of your time, because your time also spills over into the class itself. And even playing the game of, listen, if I'm behind by 2 weeks on this assignment, what am I not putting my brain on? I'm supposed to be putting my brain on in week 5 or week 6. I'm supposed to be on right now, and where I should be gaining more value rather than just digging up what I can and playing catch up. At some point, cut bait and move on, right? So there's all those strategies. And when I, even in the limited professional development, so there were a couple times I had the opportunity to go back to school for just single classes with my online work, where I was at the University of Illinois taking classes in their online educator. It was a certification they gave. And yeah, there were absolutely times that I just didn't fill something out or moved along because it wasn't worth the time to do that introductory discussion forum, knowing what I wanted out of the class. And I hate to say all this, because really 100% of the class would be the most useful of the class theoretically, and you don't want to look into be picky and choosy. You want to let all of that, if I'm a Renaissance man, I want to let all that wash over me, all of that, step into it and try it on and see how it feels. Do you think that the classes coming up for you are going to be any more or less hard or easy for you to involve yourself in those ways?
Yes. There, of course, this is quite an extensive program, which
by the way, I don't know if I've said this, but I am doing a master's of education with a concentration in administration. And then just for our school's benefit, and if I last that long, I'd like to also tack on a concentration in history because I really want to offer our juniors and seniors dual credit opportunity.
Sure.
Like I'm doing right now, teaching them Bible because
Yeah.
of my master's degree. So
Absolutely.
so it's a long process, and of course, being a history guy, I'm excited about the history ones, but those are probably years down the road. But no, there are massive things that I talk about all the time to my school board, to my principals, that I'm the financial head of my my school, and I don't, other than life experience, zero business or financial training. And so when I see an administration financial leadership, it's like, yes, please, I need it. But also at the same time, it's like, oh, that scares me a ton because there are things I probably don't want to know that I'm going to know. And then now knowing it, it's going to make life miserable. But so I see a couple of those classes, like that one in particular, as those will probably be challenging for me. But I am the type of guy that looks at the opportunity to learn, and I'm excited about the opportunity to learn. It's just the actual getting the reading in, doing the papers, that's going to take some time that I don't have.
That you don't have.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for talking through your lived experience in the moment.
Anytime.
And it's good to
talk to you any old time.
I couldn't be doing anything else I'd rather be doing right now. It's
speaking of making time for things, I gotta get some homework done. More.
Well,
no, even this, we gotta have time for this. We got to.
Well, we need to go ahead and pray for somebody right now.
All right, you got it.
So tonight we're going to pray for Leanne Haynes. She is with Mr. Todd Comstock at Carroll Christian Schools over there on the other side of Maryland. Matt, you go ahead and pray for her.
Let's pray. Father, thank you for the opportunity we have to serve you. Thank you for Leanne and her leadership there as administrative assistant, and at Carroll, working with Todd and the work that they're doing there. I pray that you would encourage her, maybe if she is working through any faculty development or professional development, that you would just allow her to balance out the time that she has to be serving you with the best of her ability. We pray that she would be encouraged in these coming days throughout her school year. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right, folks. Thanks for growing with us as we grew with Matt today.
Before you go, please be sure to hit that follow button on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, on Spotify, be sure to tap the star icon near the top and select the number of stars you'd like to give us. We'd be so grateful for 5. On Apple Podcasts, scroll down to the ratings and review section and then tap write a review to share your thoughts of the podcast. Thank you.